Today, on This American Dice, what happens when a caged bird is finally offered its freedom? What are the true priorities of the most important woman in the city? And what happens when one murder begets another? Find out what happens today on This American Dice. We join Aji at Teardrop Island, specifically at the House of Foreign Stories. And I think that Magda is kind of like rubbing your shoulders, and she's offered you some wine, and she's telling you to. Oh, you seem stressed.
Yeah. I am. What am I stressed about? Okay. Yeah. Try to look for some of these mythical ninjas that there have been reports about, but came up with nothing.
There had been that raid months ago that Naratoki-sama had. He and a whole lot of the Thunder Guard showed up, raided different institutions here, and they apparently they were arrested 4 people, I think, 4 or 5.
I know they captured 3 and they all died in captivity.
So I think some of them were killed and some of them were arrested.
Killed 4, captured 3.
Magda says there were 4 or 5 of them. Some of them were killed, some of them were captured. She's not looking at the police statistics.
So why was Narateki going after the ninjas? What did they do?
She says, well, they were criminals who were robbing people, threatening merchants. Were they not?
Isn't that what the firemen do?
It's like, yeah, it just seems like that's what everyone does somehow.
So, like who?
Like firemen, and, I don't know, bandits.
Oh, bandits, absolutely. Naratoki-sama hated those bandits.
Everyone needs money, and they all have their own way of getting it. But
and she says, I thought samurai didn't need money.
Yeah. Just trying to figure out what they need this money for.
Not me.
What do you want?
She says,
what do you look for?
It's not money. I'm interested in 2 things, really. One is being with someone I love. And she kind of gets herself closer to you.
Whoa.
And she says, and the other is, it's not money. I came here years ago and this place seemed so beautiful. And I'd been to so many other places. I just want to see more of this place. I'm here in this city, and I can't too often leave my own business. If I could go out and see not just more of this city, but more of Rokugan, I could. That's really what my soul's been aching for since I got here.
It's going to be difficult for someone like you.
She says, "Oh, it is." I wish there was a way it could. There was a way it could be fixed.
Like with a stolen chop?
We see a city on a lush river surrounded by miles of fields of red poppies. Immediately around the city are green limestone walls. A group of traveling monks heads north toward the city on a main road. The monks are met by peasants along the way who offer alms in exchange for blessings and prayers. The camera flies towards Ryoko Owari Toshi, over its green walls and into the noble quarter. We see beautiful houses, a grand and imposing palace, and a foreign mansion that stands out among the traditional architecture. We pass over the north wall into the temple quarter where the city's population pays their respects to the fortunes, their ancestors, and countless other spirits. The temple of Amaterasu, the sun goddess, and the temple of Daikoku, the fortune of wealth, almost shine in the bright day. Moving west, we see the busy streets of the merchant quarter, crowded with vendors selling goods from all over the Emerald Empire, and even some from beyond. We cross over the Bay of Drowned Honor, passing fishing boats, cargo barges, and the pleasure crafts of the wealthy to arrive in the fishermen's quarter. As the name suggests, the docks are swarming with men and women unloading their catches, but they are joined by burly porters. The quarter is much dirtier, the buildings closer together and shabbier. We see two groups of rough men in an altercation. We head south, swiftly passing over the flat gray leatherworkers' quarter, the home of the Eta, the Untouchables. The only building that stands out is the city's crematorium, which belches forth thick, black smoke. When we arrive back at the river, we slowly float southeast to the licensed quarter. Calmly lit in the twilight glow of hanging lanterns, we see samurai patronizing fine sake and geisha houses. We see a man in a basket hat approach an open door as he is beckoned in by a beautiful geisha. And once inside, he removes his hat to reveal he was the monk from the beginning. Closing the door, the geisha looks at the camera and mouths, "Secrets." Ryoko Owari, City of Lies. Executive producer, Jessica HBO.
Would you risk doing it even if you had permission?
And she's like, well, if I had permission, I would be able to do it. I've traveled all over the place before, but this country is, with the exception of the unicorn, not so fond of foreigners.
Are you not afraid that people would call you a liar even if you had the papers?
It sounds like you're reading her.
Yeah.
Okay. Not a bad roll.
You're never going to level this piece.
What do you plan to do, Magda?
She says, like I said, I just want to see more of Rokugan. That's my desire. If I could get out, see more of this country. I've seen people come from all over your land, and I hear stories about all these different places, beautiful palaces, mountains, great plains, islands off the coast. All of them sound so amazing, and I haven't been able to see any of those. I've been here for a while.
Don't you see all those regions have their own representation within the city? Is that not enough?
No, she says, no, she's like, a shadow puppet is pretty, but it's not the thing that, but a shadow puppet of a dog isn't a dog, a shadow puppet of a horse isn't a horse, a shadow puppet of a samurai isn't a samurai. I can see shadows here. I want to go out and see the world you come from even. I've heard your clan's lands are some of the most beautiful, and your palaces are some of the most beautiful. And yet I'm here.
If it's your wish, I could help make your dream happen.
She says, you would do that for me?
Yes. I share your dream. I too like to explore and experience things that I have not before. So, I would like to help you.
She says, that would, I think she just like kisses you. I think she says, that would be so amazing. I can't believe it. That's what I've wanted for so long. And she says, you really mean it?
Yes, of course. Let's go together. No.
Okay.
Roll a new character.
Yeah. You're not going to run with this girl?
May I join you in your travels?
She's like, of course.
I have a problem, though. I must finish my duties as an Emerald Magistrate first. Is that going to be a problem?
She
Give me
says,
20 or 30 years.
and she says, if you,
No, run off with you. We'll be really old. You can't go on anything with best friends.
We'll get the senior discounts.
yeah, she'll say, I've spoken with many samurai. Your duties are rarely temporary. Your duties are often till someone else decides they are completed, or till you're no longer able to complete them. And she kind of looks sad.
That's why I knew it'll be on.
And she says, I've waited here for so long. I don't know how much longer I can wait. If you'd want, I can meet you somewhere. But I so want to explore this country.
I'm compelled by Bushido. I must uphold my duty. I can. So, if you love me, I must force you to wait. But if you cannot, I will let you go.
She says, she says, I want to see this world. I want you to come with me. But I feel like a caged bird here.
This is going to be good books.
She's like, if you let me go, I swear I'll make it worth your time and your effort. We can meet when you want, where you want. And I promise you, you won't regret it.
Alright. Very well. That sounds wonderful. Let's make this happen.
Ooh. I think she gives you a big kiss, and we kind of fade away to the curtains as things get sexy. So you guys are at this Shosuro Palace. We see kind of shots of kind of how big it is.
It's big.
We see shots of the Thunder Guard kind of guarding the place. We see you guys kind of in that same meeting room where you had met with her before. She's there. Shosuro Jocho is there. Yogo Asako is there. And there are probably some like Thunder Guard like off in the distance. Like in like the far corners of the room. Like, thank you so much once again for coming to meet with me, says Shosuro Hayabu. And she talks kind of behind her. She has almost that like Arabian princess-esque, like Bugs
Veil.
Bunny would wear veil.
Yeah.
So glad that you could meet with me again. There are some concerns that I wanted to make sure that we're addressing on the same page.
Of course.
Did you get that from Hiroshi?
Did you actually say that to her?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And she says, the captain of the Little Gate Firemen?
Yeah. Don't you own them?
And she says, the city employs all of the Kijin, and they have charters from the city. Yeah.
So now actually, for some reason, thought they were all like independent.
Such my mistakes.
So the Little Gate is for the most part, had been a very safe area. Fires are rare. I would say that Hiroshi, even his predecessor, had done a good job of protecting their little corner of the city from its problems.
What would you say about his predecessor? I know he died a gruesome death.
From what I understand, he was murdered.
Just made a face.
Yeah, from what I understand, he was murdered by the ninja.
Every moment. This is time for interrogation.
And I think Yoko Osako kind of like spits out the date of that. She's like, "Oh, it was at this time." Afterwards,
I'm really just like, what did you think about him as a person?
Some of that.
Sorry.
So she's like, he was a fine man at doing his job and keeping that neighborhood safe.
May he rest in peace, or whatever people say.
Yeah.
In this universe.
But you said there was some concerns about us being on the same page?
Oh yes, I understand that you were attacked on your way back to the city.
Oh, yes, this in fact did happen. The bandits that we were attacked by
Yes.
got out with only a few casualties. They have many horses at their disposal, far more than we would have expected.
Well, obviously I'm glad that none of you were among those casualties. But I need...
Because the fortunes were looking after us.
Well, I'm sure you're being modest, and your skill had a lot to do with it. But if there is any... And she says, obviously those bandits represent a grave threat to the Emperor's roads and highways,
Of course.
which impacts the city. And I'm sure we both want to see stopped.
Yes, ma'am.
We also have a problem with some leaked insider information.
Is that so?
Yes, they should not have known. They knew exactly what to go after in our caravan. The most important item amongst our possessions.
And you think someone had given them a heads up on this?
Yes, there's only a few people who know our cargo. We need to find who is giving out the information.
Do you have any particular suspects? Perhaps Osako-san can assist you in that, the sheriff. Casting a wider net could be useful.
I'll wait to any suggestions, if you have any.
We already interrogated many of the people we thought could have information, and they were
Buttons.
They were dead ends. I was thinking, the man.
Yeah, fortunately not a lot of people knew that we were traveling, and fewer than that knew what we were carrying, so...
Well, suggestions I have. If you can find where these where these bandits are, or if you have some form of lead as to where they might be. She says, you can certainly... she says, Jocho and the Thunder Guard are certainly able to assist you with manpower. And Jocho will say, I have a squadron of men who are extremely capable horsemen and would be well the match of any of the bandits that we've seen in the past.
Oh, good. Yeah, the fact that they're all mounted is especially distressing.
Mm-hmm. Armed with Thunderguard weapons.
Yes, stolen. I'll say a mistake. A mistake which won't occur again. If we can find them, if we can find where they are, the numbers that they have, in order to move around effectively without being seen, have to be fairly small. Mm-hmm. We have the numbers to our advantage. All we need is a lead on where they are. Mm-hmm. Once we can get to them, defeating them is something that I can certainly do.
Good. Yeah, that's our top priority at the moment. I guess none of you or the Thunder Guard have heard anything about that, right? About where they might be.
There have been a few hideouts checked here or there for when someone was captured. I'll say they don't leave their wounded or their dead behind as often as bandits would.
And did we kill one or more of them? Or no, we just wounded one, right, with lightning?
You killed two of them and you wounded one, but one of the weird things was you saw that they seemed to help him continue on, rather than just leaving him behind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we at least know one person was severely injured with the help of a kami.
Who escaped, yes.
Struck by lightning during the storm.
Is that the story we're going with now? Riding your power?
Don't have to tip our hand.
It is quite a big city, though, so it's difficult to find someone with that exact wound.
Well, we can certainly keep a lookout, and if my men see anything, we'll be sure to deal with it and let you know what we find. But again, we have the numbers, and my men and I can assist you in this endeavor.
And are you Osako or Jojo?
I am Jocho right now.
Well, nice.
Yes.
Good to know.
Good to meet you, Jojo.
Shisuru Hayobu says, again, this is a significant threat to the Emperor's highways and roads. I want to see this go on just as much. I want to see Fade brought to justice just as much as you do.
Does she seem like she's telling the truth there?
Sounds like you're reading her.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
It's a good one to fail.
6.
Perfect.
Goddamn.
Excellent failure.
I think she would be voiced by Angelica Houston if this was a cartoon.
I'm sure
Morticia from Addams Family.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
So, but she says, we're of the same mind on this. This is a threat that needs to be dealt with. A threat to the Emperor's justice that needs to be dealt with. But I can assist you. As I've said, Jocho and the Thunder Guard
can provide significant backing, can bring Fate to justice if we can find a lead.
That's what we gotta do.
So we have this. We have the manpower necessary. Are we agreed on this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which brings me then to my second point. The city requires a keen eye, and the city requires a certain order. There are a lot of moving parts to it that many before have mismanaged. Introducing outside elements to this can make things more difficult for the enforcement of law and order. And as we have agreed, Jocho and the Thunder Guard are capable of defeating Fade. You men need not worry. As magistrates of the Emperor, duties as beat cops are not required of you. The men housed in the merchant quarter, the men that came here with you, Ishi-san.
Yes.
So, there have been reports that these men have not always been in the best standing in the community. As we have agreed, the Thunder Guard are more than capable of assisting you in any matters where manpower is necessary. So, I think it would be best if you spoke with the Emerald Champion about a reassignment for these men, as they're not necessary here, and it seems as though the city may have proved perhaps not the best spot for their particular talents.
How many are there?
There's 6. Sadly, my men in this city, I've known them for a good number of years. And they lack purpose here. Perhaps it is best for them to be reassigned. However, they're quite useful for certain endeavors that we have started to undertake. And I would like their help until we are done with these certain things we're planning on doing. And then I will ask the Emerald Champion to reassign them to their homeland, pretty much.
It sounds like you're trying to manipulate her.
I mean, overall. Need more time, lady. Oh my god.
Not bad.
No, it's pretty bad.
What is that?
Pretty sure it's just a 6.
That was it?
Yeah, it's just a 6.
Alright.
Alright, well, I'll just have to reassign them now, probably. Or she's like, hello, no, fuck you.
And she says,
Get him out of here. Oh, my tried voice.
yeah. And she'll say, I worry for their sake that again they're sitting in the fisherman's quarter or the merchant's quarter among some of the cities, some of those in the cities that have a less disciplined mind might perhaps wear on them, and that their talents could be utilized in some other way. If you need manpower, the Thunder Guard, you've merely to contact Jocho, and they will, and the Thunder Guard can fill that role. I have heard of some rumors that would make me suggest that they be encouraged to utilize their talents in a place that is better for them. And those samurai I am sure have pristine records and have served bravely, and I would only want them to continue to do so. Particularly, like, and she'll reiterate again, like, you've got manpower here at your disposal.
All right. Well, I will speak to the Emerald Champion at the earliest convenience.
Gentlemen, are there other matters that you have seen that are of concerns?
It's just that this bandit problem is just, I know, at least weighing on me significantly. I hope we can recover our stolen items as soon as possible. Free the city and its travelers from these bandits.
That's for sure.
Absolutely.
There's only a burden on the Emperor for them to still terrorize this place.
Indeed. All right. To wrap this up, do you guys want to bring up any of the other stuff that you think she might be concerned with or able to help you with?
I mean, the things on the table are just the ghost thing. Some of you want to deal with opium. I don't understand why that. I'm not even going to count it. Is that it? That's it, right?
I got one thing.
Go for it.
I need the Thunder Guard to apprehend Maramoto Ogai.
Whoa.
Whoa! It was brake this whole time, and now it's full gas pedal.
You know that you can get an order of appearance, basically like an arrest warrant, from either signed by either her, Yogo Osako, or the Emerald Champion. You need he's a noble, so you're gonna need some kind of testimony from probably, I think it's 2 samurai, but she doesn't tell you that. You know that already.
Alright.
Hey.
Yep.
But she says, if you need an arrest warrant drawn up, we can certainly discuss that. Is it a matter that we need to deal with here in that city? I know the name certainly sounds familiar.
I need him for questioning. I've heard that he murdered somebody in that crap gambling den.
Oh, interesting.
He needs to be brought to justice if that is true.
And Yogo Osako says, well, I've heard rumors about this exact thing, and unfortunately, given the difference in their station and the fact that it was a criminal who was involved in it, it's not really, basically that the victim was a criminal and a commoner, and the person that you're saying did this was a samurai. And she basically says there isn't really a crime there.
Who did this person murder?
After all, if a samurai slays a commoner, as unfortunate as that is, yeah, as unfortunate as that is, yeah, then Yogo Osako is bringing this up. She doesn't bring that up by name, but it's like you could tell, like all of you are probably thinking back to that. But she says, as unfortunate as that is, it's not. It's more of an issue for the patron of that commoner to deal with, and if this person was just a criminal.
All right, I understand.
Just one.
Shizuru Hayobu says, but is this man's presence here in the city something that concerns you?
Yes, other than the murder, he has been known to not pay his tabs, his bills.
Is this the man who was looking for your protection?
Yes. I did not understand what kind of protection he needed, but once I realized it, I stopped.
Shosuro Hayobu says, well, if this is a man that you wish to see no longer here, and if his conduct is disturbing you and protecting him is a nuisance, we can certainly do what we can to remove him from the city. And Jocho says, basically, like not a problem.
All right. So it will be discreetly removed from the city.
She says, "There's no." And she says, "I don't wish to bring any we don't wish to bring any dishonor to you or to the Miramoto family. If there's a bad actor here who's shown up from their number, I'm sure that's just the one. He can be subtly handled. Again, order, and this is Hayobu. Order is important."
Then the final thing I have to bring up. The final thing I have to bring up is just to ask for your blessing in further investigating the spread of legal opium in this wonderful city. The more I investigate, the more I find it has pervaded every single district, neighborhood, and group of people I've met on my travels throughout the war.
She says, I don't mean to discount your concerns for opium use is something that opium use is something that does not reflect well on any samurai. But when it comes to this matter, especially commoners smoking opium or drinking it, whatever illegal way they choose to put it into themselves, we can handle that here at this level. And Yogo Sako basically says, like we've got that taken care of. We can handle it.
Sincerity.
Jobs are done.
If I had sincerity, I'd have to go real hard. Well, of course, I understand that you and the Thunder Guard have done an extremely good job. I was just wondering if they could use my help in any way, because I often find that many crimes of this nature are spread more to just themselves. That these crimes breed other crimes.
And Yogo Sako will say, like, your assistance in dispersing that crowd at that illegal opium warehouse was appreciated, but this is a local matter. We can take care of it. It'll be easier for us to take care of it as well, and honestly, it won't put you in the position of having to neglect any of your duties while trying to make up for any perceived shortfalls that we might have.
Understood. I will let the Thunder Guard do their best.
I think as you guys are leaving, Ishii Jojo kind of like walks you out and kind of like pulls you off to the side, and he says,
Do I notice this going on?
"Do you?
Do you, Tayo?"
So
So sneaky.
let's do this thing and see if maybe you perceive any of it, just to kind of get through it quickly, because I think it's going to be a very quick conversation. He kind of pulls you off to the side and says, one soldier to another, I know that seeing anything negative in your men can sometimes be difficult. Neither I nor my mother wanted to bring this up in front of your comrades, but some of the company that your men have been keeping have not been.
I'm well aware. I'm in fact quite concerned at who this company is and how they met my men, to be honest with you. I got two.
And he says, well, at least one of your men, I know, ended up getting married. And I have nothing quite against it, but what does it say when the woman that he's marrying is a prostitute? And I speak that in not any form of...
No,
I would not... I don't speak of that in a way to insult. I'm merely bringing this up to you so that you know that some of your men have been maybe in a dangerous situation. And
which is why I'm fine with them leaving the city. Because nothing against you and your men, but you must understand it is the principal duty of commander to have troops that he knows very well and that he can trust explicitly.
Excellent. And as you guys, and he makes no attempt to kind of keep this part quiet. He was doing that, like trying to be only telling you this stuff. And he'll say, you should come and see some of the drills that and this is another dumb name for another unit of the Thunder Guard.
Samurai Squad?
It's also dumb. You should come see should come see some of the drills that the Lightning Squad
Oh my god.
conducts. And they're the mounted soldiers, or the mounted forces of the Thunder Guard. All right.
Of course, anytime I can.
And you want to possibly have heard that?
That's fine.
Okay.
It wasn't interesting enough for me to want to roll.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be about Obi.
Tayo. You're doing some kind of like very run-of-the-mill duty stuff. Some of the stuff you guys have to do deals with like customs checks and that kind of stuff, and maybe
It's like the next day or at some
it's in the day. And every now and again, you guys are responsible for, because you do have to check travel papers periodically. The Thunder Guard do a lot of that stuff.
Checking them crazily now, right?
Yeah. And
It's because you didn't get what's going on. Nobody knows.
Yeah. You do run into, I'll just say, like, Ample is kind of on his way back. And he's like, say like, oh, I went to go get a drink down near where Lean Meat's boat normally is. Sometimes I got there, I can usually get a drink with them. But it wasn't, some of the guys were there, but I guess Lean Meat wasn't around. He's not been around much lately. I heard something real bad happened.
What?
Yeah.
Like what?
I think something happened to his kid.
Who's this kid?
He's like,
Is it a child?
yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what happened. Yeah. His daughter got murdered.
Oh.
That's what it
Why
was.
did he contact us?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, I intercepted the person who was going to deliver the message to you. I forgot.
Yeah, I forgot I murdered her. I just pet her real hard.
Damn fool.
I thought she was a rabbit.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm going to try and find him.
All right. So, yeah, well, you know where his house is.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
God.
So, if you head there, it's just kind of his. It's just his house. There's no kind of like game going on or anything like that. Some of the fire eaters are probably hanging around outside, like one of like the fireman groups, and they. So if you if you kind of come by, they'll tell you, especially if you're not wearing your badge, they'll tell you like, oh, the game's not till the game's postponed for now. It's not here. It's down at the boat.
Oh, that's fine. I was actually looking for lean meat.
Oh, he's not ready to have any more games. Like I said, that'll be down at the boat.
Oh, we're gonna talk. I had a meeting with him.
And he looks up at Ample, and he says, he's got a meeting with him?
To Ample?
Yeah. And Ample's just like, well, he knows him.
Damn it, Ample. Gotta give it.
And this guy says, listen, he wants to be left alone. He's dealing with some stuff. Why don't you hit up another place? You know what? Here. Go to blah, blah, blah street. There's a nice place there. I'm sure you can find yourself a game.
I'm not looking for pleasures tonight. Mm-hmm. It's a weird way to say that, but
I'm disgusted now.
I just really need to talk to him. I think I can help.
Oh, it sounds like you're trying to manipulate this guy somehow.
It does.
The opposite of vice. I'm so bad at this. So dramatic.
It took so long to spin.
So a 12.
I thought you were going to say, I got a 3. Mm-hmm. So 12. And this guy's like, he looks up at Ample again, and he's like, yeah, all right. And he kind of pops inside, and he talks to somebody. And he, another guy comes out, and he's like kind of another pretty big dude, and he says, "Hey, Bigger, this guy's looking to talk to Lean Meat. He says you can help him out. He's buddies with Ample." I'm almost doing the Ample voice. He's buddies with Ample. And Bigger says, like, oh, all right, well, okay. I'm on my way anyway. I gotta go see what's going on. Anyway, you guys, get back to what you were doing. And they're like, all right, come on. And so I'll say that you can pretty much tell that this guy's in some kind of commanding position over these other firemen.
Mm. Bigger?
Mm-hmm. And he is indeed bigger than either of them, but he's also older than either of them. I'll say most of these guys are older. Like,
is he ampler?
No, he's not. He's not Ample size or Ishi's size, but he is big.
And these are which type of firemen?
The fire eaters.
Yeah, these are
the guys who wear like. I'll say Bigger had. He had like a vest that just had like a flame like on the back. And a lot of these guys have like fire tattoos. Mm-hmm. And yeah. I was going to say, but not fire tattoos like you'd have today, because it's all probably just black ink. Mm-hmm. So,
that's true. I didn't think about that.
It might be ink that's colored, but I imagine at least for them it's just black ink.
I feel like they could do red. This red's just like iron.
Maybe. The I don't know. Alright, so you go in, and it's very dark, and it's much quieter than normal. Like, the last time you were here, it was like a big kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Now it's very quiet, and it's also very dark, and it does not look like things have been taken care of well in here. Mm-hmm. And you kind of, like, get over to the gaming table, and you just see Lean Meat, and he's there. He's wearing, like, like all his rings and that kind of stuff, but he looks very disheveled. His beard, which he kind of kept like trimmed, is real like unkempt, and his hair looks kind of gross. The clothes he's wearing look kind of ratty. It smells in here. It probably smelled the first time you came in, and now it smells worse. It just smells of like old booze and like the equivalent like a cigarette smell, smoke kind of thing, and just funk. And he just has dice, and he's just like throwing them. And I'll say that he has like a big like cup of dice, and he just throws them, and he's like throwing them one at a time, and like watching how they land, and they're just piling up at the other end of a table. If we're saying that this game works anything like craps, then that's what he's doing.
Yeah. I guess I'll just like come up behind him. Oh my god!
Hey.
Just like,
And I think he's like, I told you guys to leave me alone. I already talked to Bigger.
Sorry, my condolences. I only just heard.
Oh, Bayushi-sama. We're not really having a game today. My apologies, but we'll have one soon enough at another. He knocks over a glass accidentally. He's like, we'll have another one, another night.
Well, I'm not here for games. I just heard about this problem you had. We last time we spoke, I told you if there's any kind of problem that you should, or anything you found out.
And when you say I just heard about this, he seems to get angry.
Yeah. You know what that means?
Yeah.
I'll say, yeah, you with all these, I don't know, all the help you're giving us, I would love to help you. I didn't know that this happened.
And he's like, you didn't know that this happened?
No.
And he's like, that murderer. Like, you were guarding that murderer.
Oh my god, it's this boy's friend.
Who? Who are you talking about?
And he says, he's like, that man who killed my daughter. He's like, you were guarding him, and you didn't know? That's tough to believe.
What'd you do, Angie? Did you guard murder? Huh? Did you murder a child?
It's someone that we were guarding. It's terrible. Honestly, this is the first time I've heard that anyone that you knew was murdered.
And he says,
who was it?
He says, yeah. He's like, I think he kind of gives you the don't act dumb.
Yeah, do I know?
Kind of a thing.
I don't know anything about Ogai except for when he said it at the governor meeting, right?
Right. I think he'll say don't act dumb. And if you want to read him, you absolutely can.
I miss he's going to kill me.
That'll make solving this opioid epidemic that much easier, Tyler.
9.
And he's like, that's pretty tough to believe that you didn't know that the man who murdered my daughter was the one you were protecting. And he's like, we sat down and played a game. I can't even believe it. Why did I ever invite any of these people into my house? Ever! And he kicks over a stool or something like that.
How could I get him to tell me the story of what happened? If you tell him you'll kill who did this.
I love it.
Has he given us information yet?
But we haven't gone back to him on camera.
Yeah, has that been happening in the background? If I were to say, like, oh, of all the good information you've given us, I'll do this for you.
I'm sure off screen that could have gone on.
Yeah. Sure. All right.
Or this could be a reminder that this person is a resource if we've got him as an ally.
We do have him as an ally. He's a resource. We have not used our resources as many times in the past.
No,
That's our most operandi. Getting resources, never using them.
Yeah, it's important. It's extremely important for the two of us to work together. If someone murdered your daughter in cold blood, especially someone that was trying to get protection from us, then I'll have to see to that personally.
He'll be like, and he'll say, we don't have. I run a regular game on a barge, which you already knew. So I run a regular game on that barge. Samurai, merchants, whoever has money and whoever wants to play is welcome to play. A guy like that shows up. From all the samurai here, I hear he's some kind of bigwig. So yeah, I extend him a little credit. And what does he do? He walks all over it. When I kick him out, he acts a fool. No, he can't come back into this game. He's not good for it anymore. I don't know if he ever was. The guys outside figured they'd send him a message. They scared him pretty good. Get him out of here. What does he do? That's not enough for him. I guess some of his servants came here, and then he kind of like breaks down a bit, and he just is able to describe like through tears, like some of his servants came here, and they grabbed little flower, and he killed her. And then after I find that out, I find out he went to you for protection. And he still hasn't said like the name of the person.
Yeah. I do remember I saw Ogai when at the Emerald Cup, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Didn't he do basically the same thing there?
Same basic stuff, yeah. You could probably put 2 and 2 together with that one.
I think I know who that was. I was the one who gave him protection, but if I had known this, I would have made sure he didn't have it. He's not under any protection right now.
Ooh.
Or maybe I'll say it like this. I'm like, I shouldn't... Yeah, I'll make it more like, I shouldn't be saying anything, but we know of problems came to light about him, and I can assure you he's not under anyone's protection now, is how I'll say that.
Where does Yugure often meditate?
Yeah, in the room.
Just in his room?
Yeah.
Okay. So he doesn't go to like a temple or anything like that? He doesn't meditate in the garden? He doesn't meditate?
I think he meditates a lot of different places. So, like, he'll switch it around. Mm-hmm. Like, half the time is in the room and half the time is just somewhere new.
If the other folks are busy in the next day, what do you think that Yugure can do to find out what he wants? like on his own. Like the other people are kind of busy doing their thing. You've been meditating. You kind of like open your eyes. You kind of stand up, and you're through with that.
Well, I needed to talk to a dragon person from a dojo, I think,
Kitsuki Jotomen.
about getting some people to send home to travel with my sister-in-law.
So Kitsuki Jotomen has a dojo in the merchant quarter. And the deal with her dojo is, and when you get there, there's one or two, it's her school of Bushido. The actual building itself is only notable in any way from like a lot of like the very, very common houses, just because outside are like some really nice horses that are kind of tethered there. And when you come in, she seems to kind of be in the middle of a class. And so she's kind of running people through some of these, no, not running people through as in like impaling them. She's running people through these katas that are, for the most part, kind of like these unarmed, like at first these kind of unarmed things, and then later on you see that there are some of the folks who practice with boken, like the practice swords, and others who just practice with sticks.
What's the Kitsuki family do?
The Kitsuki family are often magistrates. They're a very small family. So Kitsuki Jotomen on page 66. And another notable figure that you see is a short man.
Is that Mantis guy?
Mm-hmm. So he's got a boken and he's running through this. And so she's like yelling out forms. And again, you're not trained as a warrior per se, but you've seen warriors train at times here and there. And so she's kind of running them through this stuff. And you can pretty quickly tell that there's a very significant class difference between some of these folks. There's one or two people who seem like they are samurai, and they're just like training, and they seem like fairly well acquainted with this stuff. And there are other folks who are like that kind of shorter guy who seems pretty skilled, but looks like he's in kind of crummy clothes. And then other folks who seem like they're commoners, and they're kind of like beginning through this stuff, and they are learning this as they go.
I'll join them and learn it with them.
All right, and so I think you're going to wait till this class ends to talk to her.
Right.
There's like kind of this like break period. All right, and I think that things kind of like wrap up, and everybody kind of like gathers up their things to go. A few people kind of stay behind and either like stretch or run through some stuff that they had a problem with before. And Kitsuki Jotomen sees you, and she says, "Hello."
Hello. That was a fine class.
And she's like, "Well, my students," she's like, "I only ask that my students try their best and approach things with a spirit that befits the subject matter." And she says, do you have your badge on?"
Yeah.
And she says, "I assume you are Agasha Yugure."
You are correct.
She says, I had heard that someone from our clan would be one of the magistrates."
I hope to do our clan honor in my position.
"Well, excellent. There's a lot of work to be done in this city."
Unfortunately, there is much truth to that. And in addition, there is much work to be done outside of our city as well. And it is for this purpose that I have come to meet you.
Mm-hmm.
My family remained in Dragonlands on my family estate. And my sister-in-law seeks to... What was it she said she wanted to do? Just like she wants to sell...
She wants travel papers in order to sell some of the jade.
Right.
In craplands.
So I'll say basically our family wants to sell this, and I came to ask for people, trustworthy people I could send to join her and ensure the sanctity of the of that process.
She says, well, in this city, that would be in short supply.
Indeed, and that's why I've come to you.
She'll say, I have a school here to train those interested in the spirit of Bushido in such endeavors. I don't have men at arms to be borrowed.
Well, I am not asking to... I mean, is the key word there borrowed from what she said?
Well, it sounds like you're reading her.
All right. 11.
11. Not a bad roll at all.
How could I get your character to help me?
If you prove to her that you are an honorable person, she would be interested in helping you, but she doesn't know how she could assist you in this.
The only favor I ask is for your guidance in whom to hire. If there is any favor you would require of me, I hope that we could be friends as lonely dragons in this dire city.
She'll say, if you're looking for men to hire, I have to ask you to do something first.
What is it?
And she'll say, first and foremost, I am a warrior. I can tell by your accent that you are not. I can tell by your accent and your demeanor that you are not. I think you can tell a lot from fighting a man. She'll say, "Come at me." She has a boken, one of the practice swords with her, and she kind of puts it off to the side.
I think I'll bow and say, I hope you will forgive the fool I make of myself. And then I'll attack her.
All right. Sounds good. Go ahead and make a battle roll.
Is that bold?
It's strong.
Oh, I don't know where that is.
It's the mountain.
That's a 0, baby.
10.
Good
10.
You roll
Yeah.
good.
So
All right.
embarrassing.
So... Okay,
Could have done a duel.
probably could have. But, so, it's supposed to be when you engage in Ijutsu duel.
Sure.
So the two of you kind of end up fighting. And what are the things that you want out of this?
Well, I wouldn't mind demonstrating what I am capable of, which normally is not like fighting, but maybe there's a little bit of elemental energy, maybe a little bit of wind helps me deflect a blow or something like that.
A little bit of fire just singes her eyebrows.
Actually, it's burn her straight to ash.
Maybe just trails my fist as I make a good strike or something.
Is that a thing you want to do with this woman?
We'll fit this one.
Is that a thing that you want to do?
What, demonstrate that
Yeah.
power? Yeah.
Okay.
And so I'll just demonstrate, fighting isn't necessarily my thing, but I do have a thing. And I try to give her, a good fight, since that's what she asked for.
Okay. So of of our things, do you have any of those that you are choosing?
Which one is it? Battle? Oh.
Do you have to choose 3?
Yeah, I think so.
I guess so.
Okay, I didn't... Yeah, alright. Well, so I will impress her, suffer little harm, and seize
terrible.
what I want, which was her respect.
Okay. So, I think you kind of do that, and you specifically end up using this magic, as you said. And she'll say, "There's power within you, and if you have the respect for your homelands, you can do this."
Thank you. I feel that I require the assistance of some loyal Dragon Clan samurai.
You won't find those here.
Then I hope my visit has been... Although I haven't sought or found what I sought, I hope my visit hasn't been in vain. And look forward to talking to you again one day.
I feel like as you've done that, she's already kind of like moved on to like go put like the boken like back in her daisho, and kind of like she's not out of the scene, and you can still speak to her, but she's not like engaged in conversation with you. She's like doing other stuff.
Well, I bow and leave.
All right. I think you're kind of walking back. You're kind of walking back out to wherever your next destination is, and you hear like kind of somebody running behind you, and you hear like, "Wait up! Wait up! Oh, wait up! Wait up! I'm gonna have a voice like this."
Oh, great. Love it.
Amazing.
I'll greet that person. Hello.
Hey, hold on. Hey,
Hi.
hello. Hey, you're what's your name?
I am Agasha Yugure.
Oh, hey. How you doing? And if this was a cartoon, this character would be voiced by Joe Pesci.
I am fine.
All right. Well,
And what's your name?
it's like just everybody calls me Shrimp.
And to what do I owe the pleasure of your chase?
And he's like, "Well, you said you needed somebody to." I was worried I didn't hit record again. It's like you said you needed somebody to help you out with something. You're looking for somebody to work for a job for you.
That is correct.
Oh, well. If you want to go grab a drink, we could talk about that. I'm a guy who's always looking for work.
Very well. And I'll lead him to a tea shop.
I think he does not even recognize that this is a place to go to drink, and is like you're like, "Oh, this tea shop," and he's like still in the process of walking of like, "Huh? Tea shop?"
Yeah. I'll order 2 teas.
It's your money. All right. Well, and you notice he doesn't have a daisho that he's properly carrying. He kind of has a bunch of stuff rolled up, and his sword in the bedroll that he has with him. And he sits down with you, and the server will pour you some tea, and he'll be like, "So, what is it that you're looking to get done?"
I feel that first I must ask your credentials.
He's like, he kind of looks, and he's like, yeah, he looks and he's like, over tea. And he says, "What kind of credentials are you looking for?" me to say that I'm with General so-and-so, and I fought in this battle, and I defeated the mighty this guy?
Perhaps a list of your previous clients would be best.
And he's like, when I talk to the next guy, you want me to tell him I worked for you?
My job that I ask is one that I do not require secrecy for. I'm looking for honorable men or honorable samurai who don't have who can be trusted with the truth, and that I can expect to hear the truth from.
And he says, sure. Sounds like you're reading this, dude.
All right.
Oh, man. This guy should be teamed up with Ample. Of mice and men.
Yeah. We're going to get a place with rabbits. We're going to be the rabbit bandits. Nate.
Yeah.
All right, well, keep in mind you hold it, so you don't have to ask it right away.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but I want to know.
And he's like, well, what's the job? What do you need done? You're an important guy. You got bigger things on your hands, otherwise you'd do this yourself. He's like, oh.
I require samurai to travel a merchant route and ensure the safety and honor of the whatever.
Of the stuff you're moving around?
Yeah.
Yeah, easy. What do you think we do? And he's
I don't
like,
know.
listen, that's half of my whole day, every day.
I mean, I want to know if he's telling the truth, not about that he would do the job, but that he would do it like I want to know if I can trust him, basically.
Like, how can I get your character to, like, prove yourself or something?
Yeah, or I don't want to hear it from him. I want to hear it from someone that...
How could I get your character to show you're trustworthy?
Yeah.
And he's like, look, I've been working with Jatomen-san for almost for several years now. The only reason I approached you like this was because she seemed to like you.
Can I tell, like, what his affiliation is, like, personally? Like,
You recognize this guy from the dossier. He's a Mantis clan samurai.
well, I need more than one for this. Do you have a trustworthy crew or friends?
And he's like, listen, if you can get the money together, I can keep whatever guy's in line. That's not too tough. Sounded a little more like a newsie than like Joe Pesci.
It's great.
But I think we all can imagine Joe Pesci today in the musical Newsies.
Well, my stuff being transported, need some more arrangements to be made. But I can keep you under consideration as I make my preparations.
All right, well, hurry up with that because I don't like to stick around here too long. I got other stuff I got to do, and I got other jobs I got to take. So, listen, if you pull the money together, I can help you find a group of guys I can keep in line. How's that?
Very well.
All right, now let's get an actual drink because I don't know. This just smells.
I'll just give him like $1 or whatever so he can get his own drink.
We'll just order a drink, yeah.
And I'll just like leave.
I think our last shot is some peasants in the merchant quarter, and like guys who are like working near the dock, like loading stuff up here and there. And then one of them looks over the dock edge and is like, "Uh-oh." And then we see like the scene like fade out and then fade back in, and we see like several of the Thunder Guard looking down over the dock. And they're like kind of like looking around, and it fades out, and there's a few more of them there, and then we see one of the 8 Edda come down and kind of do that, and this person is put on. There's a body like put on a cart, and we see the Edda bringing the cart kind of through the city, and we eventually see the body kind of like on the slab, like about like ready to be cremated, essentially, and being like examined, and it's definitely the body of Miyamoto Ogai.
How big are their holes?
Mm-hmm. Oh, you. Hey, Courtney, love it. Hey, that's a different kind of hole. She has almost that like Arabian princess-esque, like Bugs Bunny would wear veil.
Yeah. Bear trap in her mouth?
Yeah, but she's got lipstick on, so she looks like she's smiling.
Mm-hmm.
And you're a 5-year-old, and you're watching, and you're turned on, but you don't know what's up. You got a lot of questions. Looks like you made a wrong turn at Albuquerque.
Mm-hmm. She sees right through your attempt to see through her.
And she saw through me.
Yeah. Who's speaking? A ghost? So I wish I had a voice for her.
How about this one?
Oh, hi guys! That's the Easter Bunny from the Christmas special game.
I like that Santa.
All right, so she sounds like that, kind of. No, she does not.
No.
Please God.
And he says,
Get off it real fast.
Yeah. Never let that one go. So, it's been more than 10 years, David. So, she says,
Thin wrists.
Yeah.
They're so spindly. I hate them.
And the way you walk. God damn it. No, but she says, anyway, we leave that Looney Tunes. We click back onto this show. And, so, as a correction to our last game, I screwed up something that I meant to say differently. In the southern part of the Fisherman's Quarter, the firemen that are there are the Fire Eaters. I said at different times in the last game, the Moment's Edge, who are in the north, and the Strong Arm, who are in the Merchant's Quarter.
Upward Melted Horn or something?
So, the Fire Eaters. Yeah, I was having a hard time. I listened back to it and was like, fuck. So the Fire Eaters were the ones who were looking for Ogai. That kind of thing.
Southern Fisherman's Quarter?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there's a breakdown in the...
Which one? The Fire Eaters?
The Fire Eaters are the ones in the southern part of the Fisherman's Quarter, where lean meat is. City of Lies is Tone as Kakita Aji, Brandon as Hida Ishii, David as Bayushi Tayo, Andrew as Agasha Yugure, and Austin as your Game Master.
The theme music for City of Lies is Mission of Danger by Lobo Loco. Additional music for this episode includes Q5, Dark, Somber, Sad, Spooky, Ambient by Solar Flare. That's spelled SOULARFLAIR. Solar Flare. This American Dice Ryoko Owari City of Lies uses the City of Lies box set by Greg Stolz, published by Alderac Entertainment Group. The mechanics used is a modified PBTA system by Brendan Taylor of Galileo Games. Join us next time for more This American Dice.